Guys, one of the worst things when it comes to my household and my siblings is me having to fight with them and having to argue with them. Like seriously. Because, I just hate it when I argue with my siblings and fight with my siblings. That's how you know that things are about to go down. Like, things are about to go down in my household whenever I fight with my siblings. Because you can't tell me that yesterday I had to help him out just because he threw a shoe outside of his window in his room that was on the balcony, and then all of a sudden I had to tell him that he must jump out of the window and go get the shoe. And all of a sudden he's telling my brother is telling me that he can't jump out of the window. I had to force him. I had to tell him that he can, because I've done it. I usually help my dad with a sliding door. The sliding door doesn't even like slide. It's like doing weird sounds. It's like now we have to pull it up because we have issues with that sliding door, so we couldn't open that sliding door. So for instance, I had to tell my little brother to jump out of the window in order for him to get his shoe, and then all of a sudden it was like he was getting so emotional, and I had to tell him, and I had to tell him, that he must go get that shoe, because he was the one that was saying that they were playing. I don't know what they were doing, like personally, I was in my room yesterday, and this was late in the afternoon. So apparently he gets his shoe, and then I tell him to jump in, and then all of a sudden he tells me that I can't because of the wind and stuff. And the worst thing is that I'm not really that type of person that really wants to be independent on others, but at the same time I had to in that moment because I was just trying to be nice. He was busy being so sensitive and telling me that, yo, bruh, my shoe is outside the balcony and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, go get the shoe then. Go get the shoe. And so I told him to get the shoe, and then as soon as he was outside, I told him to jump in. And he was like, no, I can't jump in. So you know what I did? I said, put your other leg, and put the other leg, and then I had to grab him like a flipping toddler or like a little baby, and I had to grab him like that, and then I had to pull him out, which was one of the worst things I've ever done. But very helpful, by the way, just in that conspiracy and in that situation that I was in yesterday, which was crazy. And after that, we had to argue because he was so sensitive and he was crying. Bro, I hate arguing with my siblings, bro. It's one of the worst things ever when it comes to my household. That's why lately, I don't really talk that much, but at the same time I do talk. You know what I mean? Because it's boring not to be that person that doesn't talk to people, but same time you gotta talk. You know what I mean? But when I have in my spare time, I don't really if I'm having a good time, I won't really want to talk to you. So you know what I mean? That's my person. That's the type of human being that I am. But whatever.